Hi, I called the other day, trying to find out when you guys were gonna set up an appointment for visits with my children.
Who else is calling?
James Sharp, Sharpe.
Yeah, hi team. I called you yesterday, but your voicemail is full, so I couldn't leave a message. I called twice.
Uh,
Um, you still on? You are on our wait list. You're number 44, and unfortunately, the wait list has been moved. How much longer it's gonna take, I'm not sure. But as soon as your name comes up, we will contact you to set up visitation.
okay, so and I understand that you guys have what you have going on, but I also do too. And this isn't on you guys. Like I said, I understand you guys have what you have going on. But this is going on 3 years with my kids, and that has nothing to do with you guys. But what it does have to do with me and with my children is going into this has become, and not at your hands or your agency's hands, but this has become psychological abuse with all these years, for sure.
And
So
not from us.
no, no, absolutely not. I'm just saying, I'm expressing how I feel about the whole thing because the mental stability in the children is definitely should be considered, and not by you guys. I understand you're in a crunch and you can only do what you can do, but for the courts, um that this, and not to you again, please don't take it as I'm giving this to you, but it's unacceptable what the courts are doing, because
Right.
again, this comes down to the mental stability of my children. And I've proved in many different ways that my ex was not only abusive, but that she was playing games, that she stole money, that she stole the children. And I'm like, I'm honestly, I don't even.
Frustrated.
No, I'm a realist about what's taking place and how the courts have turned the children into money and poker chips, and you can't even have rights to your children unless you pay money for a lawyer. And I've never paid for a lawyer, and I'm not taking a lawyer. I'm not taking a public defender or anything like that, because I can prove beyond a reasonable doubt what my ex has done and how she's manipulated not only the system but everybody around. And this definitely goes into the mental state of my children. you know and this isn't for you, but where do my kids think I am? Because I've never stopped trying to be after my children since this took place. So you know I it's I'm to the point to where I can't even wait. And honestly, I'm not gonna wait. I'm not asking permission with the courts. That I'm about to start sending out notices of liability, and not to you guys, because you can only do what you can do, and you guys are on the
Right.
receiving end of this. I'm expressing the truth of the matter.
Yeah, you're expressing how you feel.
Yeah, no
What's
doubt.
happening?
And I have my oldest, and she's here with me, and I'm I'm staying in the government facility up here. We'll just call that it's agency, but it's all funded through the government, and I'm in their hands right at the moment with my daughter. So, um, yeah, I'm very much I don't think I'm gonna be willing to cooperate with the courts anymore. I think that
What do you
I'm
mean by
going to
that?
I don't think that I'm going to accept any kind of conditions or anything like that anymore. That I'm just about to start issuing notices of liability to everybody involved. And I don't mean you
Okay.
guys. You won't even get one from me. I'm not threatening. I'm talking fact. I understand about court very much, way more than your average person, and even more so than some of the legal teams that are out there. Um, yeah, I don't accept anymore what's going on. That any kind of issues or delays any further is really, honestly, and I don't mean this to sound rude, it's not my problem. It's not my children's problem. It's not my problem. I've showed the courts videos of my ex abusing my son. My daughter's head was split open with a tablet. This girl was arrested twice on domestic violence, and her son was removed from the house 3 different times for being totally violent in the house. And somehow, not somehow, due to massive procedures, all she had to do was walk in and say she was in fear. And for the last 3 years, I've not received a picture of my children. I don't know what my kids look like anymore.
Wow.
You know, so this was very. Say again.
I said I'm so sorry that you're going through all this.
Well, I appreciate that, and I understand that you guys are there to help. And honestly, just to be totally truthful with you, I'm staying in the shelter up here due to the things that my ex put me through, and honestly, my inability to pull it back together the way that I was living, because I'm a commercial fisherman, so I was leaving for 7 to 10 days at a time to go fishing, and now I have nobody to care for my daughter for me to go do that. So I very much had to change my life, and I'm standing 10 toes in as dad with my oldest. So I'm not, my children aren't poker chips, and I'm not saying this to you. I'm talking about the government, period. The lawyer thing with the money. He who bids the highest on a lawyer and gets the best lawyer wins the kids. And no, I'm not even. This is not good for anybody's children. Never mind my children.
Right.
You know.
Right. And this is very, very sad. I mean, one suggestion will be like trying to contact another visitation center, see if they have a better possibility for you to be on visitation.
Well,
I think I mentioned to you that the Milford City has a visitation center.
Yeah, I'm like, no, and I'm not gonna, because one, I very much understand about the legal side of what's happening in court, and what's written in the document is what needs to be done in the document, and they put your agency there as the facility that I was supposed to go through. So
Is that because it's closer to you?
no, I'm not willing to cooperate with this show anymore, because it's all a show. And I've like, this girl had me for text messages. Okay, she pulled out a PFA against me. I dropped the 2 domestics up here against her. I understand how to move in court. I understand about my public servants, and they have a duty of care and no harm and damages. And this being the mother of my children, and me being who I am, I didn't want to get her in trouble. Now this girl smashed me with a mason jar, hit me with a fire extinguisher, hit me with every single one of those 7 children in her arms. And I can prove a lot of this. So, you know, the end goal of the agencies, and I don't mean you guys, I'm talking courts, because these people aren't acting as fiduciary roles. They have fiduciary roles, but they're acting as agency. Okay, so while these agencies are for profit, yeah, my children aren't poker chips, and I really just feel like I have to be a brick wall with these people and no longer play their game. Like, I'm not consenting to anything, and I'm going in there strictly. My children are my property. That's my blood. That's my offspring. These aren't children. This is my offspring. This is my life and my legacy, and this is my pursuit of happiness. So I don't really feel like, after it's been like a month and a half, 2 months since I initially tried to touch base with you guys, and I'm not putting this on your lap again. I feel like my duty of care has been met. My side of these contracts have been met. And I'm no longer, I don't think I'm accepting any of this anymore. I really don't. I think I've totally had enough, and this is turning into, this is way beyond mental abuse. This is like, I'm going to see my children and they're not going to know who I am.
Do you have no other form of communication? I mean,
no, this has been, I've been totally left in the dark while this girl manipulated the system. So I went into telling you about the domestics up here, up in Maine, being dropped. I still have police reports for everything. So while they were dropped, I chose not to go forward. But these incidents still happened. After this happened, she threatened me over and over again through fights, through arguments and stuff,
Right.
where she would...
Is your lawyer working with you at all?
No, I'm not taking a lawyer. I'm not taking a lawyer. I don't need to be represented. I go in there as myself. I speak truthfully. I speak from the heart. And if these people are not allowed to listen to anything but paperwork and people that represent for the Bar Association, then they're causing me harm and damages. They're causing my 7 children irreparable harm and damages. Not only my 7 children that she has, my daughter's with me, and she's been denied of seeing her children for the last almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to say this last thing, and it's kind of off point, but it's really not at the same time. I sang to all my children. And my youngest set of twins, at 4 months old, I have a video singing to my son, and happy and you know it, clap your hands. And at 4 months old, he went to clap his hands. So I was very much building and had a bond with my children until they were ripped away from me, with no harm done, with no damages, with no evidence of anything, just straight up. This girl walked into court and played victim. And honestly, I'm going to speak frankly, she threw shit at the wall and it stuck. But only because I wouldn't accept a lawyer. So I'm like, I've had it, man. I've had it. And it's not, I mean it in any way disrespectful or anything like that. I have just...
Well, I hear you, and I, you know, I really don't have much to say on my end, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Because you just expressed that you don't want pretty much any other type of help. I mean, from my end, with all your respect, I'm just here to hear you and validate, you know, your what you're going through and what you're sharing with me. And I wish you luck, and hopefully, you know, your name goes up on the list, and we could bring you in.
I'm gonna stay on the list, though. I'm just really trying to, you know, I'm just expressing.
You know, let somebody know what's been going on, and I appreciate that from you sharing, you know, what's been going on. But from my end, I'm, you know, so sorry to say I can't do much, but to wish you luck. You know what I mean?
Yes, no, I got you. God bless. Totally. I just, you know, there's got to be change that comes in this country, and there has to be people that stand up against this, because we're not poker chips. Our children are not poker chips. The state does not own our children. They own our children through the birth certificate, and that doesn't give them jurisdiction over the body. That gives them jurisdiction over the legal name. And I understand very thoroughly about this. I understand about the STQ Trust and the 14th Amendment citizenship. And like, this is a fight that I'm going to have to pick up, that I never wanted, that I tried to go in and try to cooperate. But there is no cooperating with the government when it comes to raising our sons and daughters. You know, they're not my children. They're my sons and daughters. And it's very much courts moved off of definitions, and I'm not even I'm stepping out of this realm of legal fictions. And I don't know if you understand this, and a lot of people think I'm crazy when I start going off like this, but it's all upheld in court. It's all legal. It comes down to equity in court, and my children are not equity. They're my sons and daughters. And that's really, honestly, I'm gonna go this route. So while I would like to stay on the list, just because of worst case scenario, I haven't signed any contracts with you guys, and as long as I'm...
You're just on the wait list.
Yep.
And you call, you know, your job is to continue to call, you know, I mean, it's not like it's not going to move like right away. We don't know, you know, the length of time that it's going to take, but at least you're on the wait list, you know, you continue to call, you know, every other week or however you want to do it, and as soon as, like I said, as soon as you look, we'll contact you and bring you in.
Absolutely.
If we have the capacity, okay?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you listening to me. I very much, because what I'm speaking is really foreign to a lot of people, and they're like, what are you talking about? You sound like you know a little bit about, or maybe a lot of bit about what I'm talking about. I'm looking to make change in our world, because there are people that have very much abused the system, and after years of being hit and hurt by this girl and never turning around and doing it to her, she found another way to assault me, and she's doing it at the hands of the judicial system. And that's, I guess, where I'm just gonna end it, because that's where it ends.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to me.
All right. Well, I made a note on your list that you called today, and I wish you a good day. Okay.
All right. Thank you, dear. God bless. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm done dealing with this fucking bullshit.